God damn it, really?
Hey, everybody, welcome to I'm Okay, You're Okay. I'm not okay. You're not okay. With me, Bob Schneider, and your other host, Clint Wells. You're welcome. You look like you're a goddamn cocaine dealer from the 80s, and
Yep.
you finally made it. You're not working at the place that's across the street from the really nice place. You're not washing dishes. You've actually made it. You've killed a few people, and now you're not at the top, but you've got a nice place, and you've got some neon in your place.
Well, it's one thing that
You're gonna have to kill you're gonna have to kill the boss before you move into the big place, but you're doing well.
all bosses know that they will one day be usurped and killed by their closest followers. And
Yeah, you either got to kill everybody that you trust or be killed.
well, friend or foe, we know that. And I did start dealing cocaine because that's the only thing in this economy that AI cannot replace yet. So it'll come, but people will 3D print their cocaine.
Yeah, when you can 3D print cocaine, game over for all the drug dealers.
They're sweating it.
Game over. It's going to happen. AI is going to figure out the exact chemical compounds you need to chemically print cocaine. And then your service robot or companion robot or fuckbot, whatever you want to call it, is going to be doling out lines, creating lines, because where her titties are, she's going to open up a titty and there's going to be a little 3D printer there, and that she's going to be printing out lines. And then it'll just be cocaine, quick tug job, and then what can you project against the wall? What can you project into the eye implant that I can watch?
Let me ask you this. Why does every major podcast have, like, in the background, like, one can of liquid death or, like, an energy
Because they're getting
drink?
paid, boy. They're getting paid.
Does that placement in the back of the room, blurred out, does that move the needle on sales?
I mean, I found out about liquid death by watching Theo Vaughn's podcast. He was always drinking it, and I was like, oh, let me check it out. And I got on a liquid death kick that lasted about 2 or 3 years, and I don't know why I ever got off of it. I love liquid death, and I stopped drinking it, and I don't know. I'll tell you, I know why. Because they don't carry it at HEB, and that's where I shop. I stopped going to Whole Foods because an apple's $8.
Yes.
And so that's where they sell liquid death.
Yes.
But I need to get back on that liquid death, son. Because that shit is good. Do you like liquid death?
I mean, it's just water in a can.
Oh, that's like saying Blake Lively's just a fucking, human female.
Well, she's quite a bit more than that. She seems to be capital C crazy.
No.
Have you not kept up with all this horrible shit she's been embroiled with this movie she made and Taylor Swift, and she's suing the filmmaker, and then it came out that she was hiring a PR firm to orchestrate a smear campaign. She's in deep shit, man.
She's too hot to have any problems as far as I'm concerned.
You know this. Mo money, mo problems. Mo beautiful, mo problems.
Mo beautiful, no problems in my eyes. Oh, somebody said you're crazy. I don't believe it. Come on over here to daddy and let's snug up.
It's one of the
bitch.
best arguments for God I have found in my wanderings. It's not the little warm fuzzy you feel. It's not the behold the Grand Canyon. It's not all the ontological arguments. It's that even the rich and beautiful have the God-shaped hole. They are not happy, and they should be. I have the same exact problem with people who do hallucinogenic drugs and think that they understand some truth about the world. My friend did a guided mushroom evening that he paid for. And he's like, oh, dude,
Nice.
He's like trying to solve all this neurosis in his life having to do with his marriage that broke up and his childhood. And it's like he has all these euphoric epiphanies on the drugs. And yet when he's off the drugs, his life is still a mess. And so I just find that unconvincing. Show me that. Show me the Christian person that has the God and that they're happy, can't find it, nowhere to be found. Show me the beautiful rich person that's happy, can't find it, nowhere to be found.
Well, I mean, I think it's the good book that said, "'Tis easier." I can't really say it in this accent. I got to go to the Southern gentleman to use for me to say what I'm about to say, if I may be so bold.
You may.
For me to expound upon the preferred proverbial adage that I'm about to propose to your ears, I must use this voice so that you are able to psychically, also physically, and thirdly, physiologically
Are
able to accept what I am about to say
are you telling
to
me that
you.
you do declare?
I do declare, if I may be so bold
You
to
do
declare,
declare.
I I am proposing to declare, but
Yes.
again, proffering your permission to propose to declare said proclamant,
I
if I
declare
may be so bold.
I declare and bestow with all the flowers at my disposal permission to for you, good sir, to declare.
And I must kindly thank you for your permission in said venture. I must say that now that the doors have swung wide open,
Yes.
and all I can see is the endless sky,
Yes.
all I can see before me is the possibility of endlessness, this horizon of possibilities. Now that my eyes have cleared from any negative sort of stoppage, now I do declare that I am able to proffer what I'm about to
As one
say.
Thomas Petty declared himself, the future was wide open.
Oh, Thomas Petty, R.I.P., singing with the angels up in heaven, singing about free falling, but
Berobed.
giving it a new context when you're an angel and you've got those wings and you're falling through the clouds. The free falling song has a new context indeed, Mr. Petty.
Most fallen brethren have to spend an eon earning them wings. But when Mr. Thomas Petty ascended up into the clouds, next to Christ himself, they said, "You an angel," immediately.
Oh, Jesus, Jesus was spinning those heartbreaker records up in the heavens above. But we are, once again, we have drifted away slightly. But again, how could we not? Because there are so many endless impossibilities in front of us. How could we not perhaps veer slightly to the left or slightly to the right or slightly below or slightly above said targeted subject? But let me proffer what I'm about to say.
We digress.
The digression has definitely occurred. There has been a slight digression, but for every impression to ascend the ascension, some digression must first occur.
Yes.
Thereby, if you were to always ascend and never digress, eventually it would be almost impossible to catch your breath.
One can never purely ascend.
No, 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 no.
No, sir.
Words have never been spoken that have more truth than what you have just uttered out of your, dare I say,
Visage.
salivish mouth hole. Your salivish mouth hole that centers around the bottom part of your visage.
Well, I must admit,
as
I am
say.
frothing at the bit for your declaration, sir.
Well, let me declare what I'm about to say.
Please.
Which is thus. It is easier for a camel. Now, I'm not talking about a toy camel that you might find in a Kinder Egg, a small, tiny plastic camel. I'm not talking about a whittled sculpture that someone sculpted out of the tip of a pencil graphite
What about a
that's so
magical
small you need a microscope to see it.
What about a magical camel you might find in the least likely of places like Central Park, New York City?
That is the camel that I am referring to. I'm referring to the Central Park camel, a full grown camel.
Yes.
A camel that were it to step on your toe, you would know that your toe had been stepped upon. If it were to, dare I say, lay in your bed at night, you would wake from a slumber and go, by God, I do declare there is a full-grown 1,000-pound stinky camel in my bedchamber.
I don't know much about zoology, but I do know that this here before me in my bed ain't my wife.
If it were my wife, I would immediately file for an annulment.
By God,
because I do not have the dick to fuck some. Excuse me for digressing. Let me put it medically, if I may.
Anatomically correct.
I do not have the atomic trash to take out that receptacle.
Well, I'm going to stop you right there, my friend. I'm going to have to stop you right there. I believe you are selling yourself quite shortly, and that you could satisfy the most robust tiny of said camel.
Well, I do declare that I appreciate your, how shall I say, enthusiasm as it comes to possible said
coitus,
imaginary sort of hanky-panky, as they say in the blue business. But let me once again get back to what I was about to say.
Please.
Which is, it is easier for this said camel to squeeze itself through the eye of a needle. And when I say needle, I'm not talking about the space needle. Well, I do declare that I appreciate I'm not talking about, how shall I say, enthusiasm as it comes gigantic to public work said sculpture that someone has made in like the city of imaginary Chicago. Sort of
you are
where they have built a giant needle blue business, and then people are saying, "Oh, that is nice, but how much did it cost?" Oh, it cost $4 million. Which is, it is easier spend that money on a giant needle. That's not the needle. I'm talking about the needle that Betsy Ross used the eye of a needle. And when I say needle, I'm not talking about the space needle. Betsy Ross. I'm not talking about using whatever fabric she had at her disposal. There was no Michaels back in those days. One had to go out and find a chicken, like the city of Chicago, and bring where they have built a giant needle to the living. And then people are saying, no room. "Oh, that is nice, but how much did it cost?" Oh, it cost $4 million. Dust-covered, dung-filled. Spend that money on a giant cabin. Needle. That's not the needle. I'm talking about a bring that in the needle that Betsy Ross used her teeth to sew the American flag. Wizened witch teeth that Betsy Ross is so famous Betsy for Ross having. Just
I do declare
into the shape of whatever fabric she had at her disposal. There was no Michaels back in those days. One had to go out and find a chicken.
I declare.
And then and bring said chicken skin in and bringing it to our boys on the front line. There was no who are fighting the British. It was just an area using only inside your long dust-covered, dung-filled stick with a whole board inside of it with a small. And she would bring that in and cut them into stars using only her teeth, her sharpened and wizened witch teeth that Betsy Ross is so famous to go down the hole to. into the shape of a star,
fly through the
into
air
the shape of a
like a
star, or
minute
the shape, the
cannonball
long,
and
stringy
neck
shape of a
the
stripe.
British
And then,
earlobe of
and then
Lieutenant
sewing that flag together
Archibald
and
Sir
bringing
Christopher
it to our
Christ.
boys on the
Heavens
front
to Betsy.
lines who are fighting
Yeah,
the British.
Betsy.
Using
But I
only.
digress.
Once
A
again,
long,
it is
long
easier
wooden
for
stick with a
that
hole
camel to
bored
get through
inside
that
of it
Betsy
with a
Ross needle
small
than it is for
lead
Blake Lively
ball
to get through another
and
day of the
whatever
social
they used
media
to ignite
unscathed.
the sandball to go down the hole to
I do declare.
I
then
declare.
fly through the
I do
air
believe you are onto
like a
something there,
minute
Bobby.
cannonball and
anyways.
neck
Anyway,
There you go.
the British
I feel like I own. Yeah, had I
earlobe
said
of
that in my regular accent, it wouldn't have made sense.
Lieutenant
if they come out of
Archibald
these
Sir
experiences
Christopher Christ
and say, "I am happy now,"
yeah,
I'm listening.
Betsy.
But all
But
I
I
see
digress.
is
Once
you coming
again,
down from that mountain going,
it is easier for that
Oop,
camel to get through that
whoops-a-doo.
Betsy Ross needle
Still
than it
unhappy.
is for Blake Lively.
Well, that's the problem. I was thinking
To
about it
get
the other day.
through another day of
I
the social
haven't-
media.
I've been around that level of success.
unscathed.
You know your boy. He's been around that
I do
level of
declare.
success. I've lived that lifestyle. It didn't make me happy. So I'm
Anyway,
aware of it
anyways.
through my experience, not through
There you
some
go.
intellectual
I feel like
process.
I own.
But
Yeah,
it's
had I
been a
said that in
while.
my regular accent, it wouldn't have made
And there is
sense.
part of me that thinks, well, if I had A, B, C, or D, usually A is financial security, B is some sort of relationship that, makes sense and makes me happy, makes me feel safe and loved. C, food, I guess, or whatever.
Well, that's the problem.
My
I was
needs
thinking
met.
about it
but
the other
if I had
day.
A, B, and C, I should be happy. I haven't. I've been around that
But
level
I
of
don't think you need
success.
any. I think the
your
only
boy.
thing that
He's
makes
been
you
around
happy
that level of success. I've lived that
is
lifestyle.
love.
It didn't.
And when
make
I
me
say love,
happy.
not getting love, but giving love.
So I'm
the
aware
more
of
love
it
I can
through my
give,
experience,
the happier
not
I
through
am.
some intellectual
And then that
process.
thank you
But
heard was the
it's been a
period.
while.
Dropping in the background.
And there is
Okay.
part of me that thinks, well, if I had
well, yeah.
A, B, C, or D, usually A is
And then-
financial security, B
I know
is
you're like, well,
some
that,
sort
how,
of relationship that
that can't be the
makes
the-
sense, and makes me happy,
That can't be it.
makes
But
me feel safe and loved.
I'm-
Look, I identify as late 30s,
Food,
and
I
I
guess.
appreciate you, saying
or whatever.
I appreciate
my
you,
needs
you know
met.
what I mean?
But
If I
like,
had A, B, and C, I should
this
be
isn't
happy.
the
80s. If I'm identifying as late 30s, I
but
appreciate
I
you.
don't think you need any. I think the only thing
respecting
that
that,
makes you
you know what I'm
happy.
Oh
saying?
yeah, we're at peak pretend
Thank you.
time with adults. Yeah, you can identify as
Is
whatever
love.
you want, and that's what
and
you
when
want.
I say love,
Yeah,
not getting love,
Yeah,
but
thanks
giving
for
love.
for
So
seeing
the
me
more love
and
I
for
can give,
respect.
the
Well,
happier
you
I
have
am using
you have one
And
of
then
my
that
new
thank
phrases
you
in
heard
this
was the
same
period.
culture is
dropping
you
in
have
the
what we
background.
call your truth. Everyone has their
Yes.
truth now,
And
yeah,
then, and
yeah, yeah.
I know
irrespective
you're
It's
like
like a
of
knife.
How, that can't
irrespective
be, that
of
can't be the
observable reality. You
that
have
can't
your
be it,
truth,
but-
and it must be respected at all costs.
Look, I identify as late 30s, and I appreciate you, saying
You
I
know it,
appreciate
I
you,
know it.
You know what I mean? Like, this
Elon
isn't the 80s.
knows
Anyways,
it.
if I'm identifying as late 30s, I appreciate you.
So yeah, what I've
respect
discovered in my
you know what I'm
in
saying?
my 30-some years of being on the planet is that all of the things that my culture, which is the American culture, tells me will make me happy: youth, riches, things, relationships. They don't make you happy. They do for a second. Like if somebody, you get a new thing, you get your I'm okay, you're okay neon sign, you hang it, you put it in your thing, you're like, oh, this is cool. And for a minute, you're like, oh, this is cool. I like this. And it kind of takes you away from whatever you're thinking about, takes you away from your feelings. But once it's hanging on your wall, you forget about it. And then you're going to have a feeling again. And then the thing that you bought last week, it's you know what I mean? It's not going to have the same impact.
Well, just as long as you
And that relationship that you're in that made you really happy when you first fell in love. Remember that feeling when you first fell in love with your wife?
it's the best.
You're like, oh, this is it. This is the thing that's going to finally turn things around. And now that you've been in that relationship for forever, you realize, no, that's not the answer. I love my wife. I love being with her. I love talking to her. But that's not what's going to make me happy.
I think that
The
we
only,
have
only thing that'll make me happy is love.
I think that we also have a strange preoccupation with happiness that's not meant to be.
Sure.
Something happened. Was it God? Was it an accident of evolution? Was it panspermia, which is this belief that intelligent life was seeded on planet Earth? I don't know what it was, but it happened. And we are not like the other animals in that we have humor and art and music, and we have those things because we know we're going to die. And because we know we're going to die and we're mostly comfortable, we sit around going, I'm not happy, but I'm not happy. But I have all these things. I have security, I have food, but I'm not happy. Animals don't fret for that shit. It is a curse.
I think it's I think it's our culture. Our culture tells us we should be happy, we deserve happiness, and happiness is the thing that will make us like that's what we should be shooting for is happiness. And I think you're right. I think it's not true. I think serenity is really what we should be shooting for. And again, the serenity is like how much stuff can I not hate versus how much stuff do I hate? And if the stuff that you don't hate is greater than the stuff that you hate, then you'll feel mostly serenity. And if you're hating everything all the time, you won't feel that serenity. So
I think
pretty
you're
simple.
I think you're not wrong. Let's dig into the emails here because we got some new patrons and some new emails. First of all,
Nice.
over at Patreon, they're calling it a Clinthangers because instead of a cliffhanger, because I keep saying I'm going to talk about shit in Secret Weekly, and then it keeps not happening. So it's a
I
cliffhanger
like.
over there, which is fine.
I feel like that might be a merch. Clint Hanger T-shirt.
Someone named Bob became a patron. Want to say thanks to Bob. I'm guessing that's not you. Someone named Billy became a patron. Want to thank Billy. Want to thank new female patron Diane Narkowicz.
Okay.
And someone wrote in about the moon landing. We asked, did anyone care about the moon landing? Monday wrote in and said, you've got me in the place where I'm perfectly split in half between the part of me that's Pollyanna and the part of me that's Daria. You're standing on my neck. I'm torn on things on the reg, so that's nothing new. But I will tell you that about 10 years ago, I had to purposefully put my head in the sand as a sanity saver. So the last I heard, we were basically defunding NASA. So when people were talking about this mission, I was sort of like, yay, and just moved on because I figured this was some Elon Musk crap. So I was pleasantly surprised to find out it was actually done by NASA. That's something at least. But while the exploring spirit of humans is literally what brought us to this point in evolution, and that is really something, I did always believe we should really get our shit together here on this planet before we spend so much money that way. And we especially have no business trying to branch out when we can't even treat our home planet the way that we should. And that was the only feedback we really got about the moon thing.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and disagree with that because that thing that you want to happen will never happen. So we're just not going to do anything until the thing that's never going to happen happens. I don't think so. Let's just do this other stuff while the other thing's never going to happen.
Well, I just think it's important to know that should we somehow start to colonize life elsewhere, you ain't going. I ain't going. We're not going, boy. Guess who's going?
No.
Bezos and all of Bezos's whores. We're not going there. The meek inherit the earth, baby. Period.
It's going to be robots. Robots are going to go because they can live in space and they don't care that they're in space for 5 years and they're going to pack
they're terraforming
2,000 robots in a spaceship. Yeah, and they're going to go there. They're going to build everything. They're going to create an atmosphere. They're going to plant plants. They're going to colonize, and then eventually, once it's like a habitable planet, then maybe people will start going there in like
the
100
wealthy,
years.
the rich. What do you think about the government over the last several years really trying to soft launch this idea that there are aliens and that they know about it? I feel like every 18 months, the tries to get the public to get frenzied up about aliens, and it's not taking. Don't you find that interesting?
It is interesting. There's a couple ways. There's two ways of looking at it. One is that the government is doing that, won't be freaked out about some other shit that they don't want people freaked out about. But then the other thing could be like, oh, well, maybe we're getting to a point where there is some shit about aliens that they do know about that they're going to tell us about. We don't know.
We certainly don't know. I just really
I would love for there to be some alien
Oh
shit.
yeah,
That would be
everyone would.
fun.
Everyone would. But the thing is, I just find it so interesting that humanity is kind of not taking the bait on it. Humanity's kind of like, yeah, we can't afford groceries, so fuck off with this alien shit. I just think that's interesting. People are not as captured by it anymore.
Yeah, but there's also a lot of information saying that it's just a government hoax. Like if there was no information out there saying, "Oh, this is a government hoax," then people would be like, they would be very excited about it. People are just whatever comes across your desk, you just most people, and I'm not saying you people who are critical thinkers who look at stuff and go, "Does this make sense?" But a lot of people just accept whatever is thrown at them, and so if the thing is like, "Oh, it's a government hoax," then they won't be excited about it. It's it's all simple stuff, dude. It's all math. It's all addition and subtraction. There's no even multiplication. There's definitely no long division. This is not long division.
There's,
It's simple
did
math.
you ever get into that band called Low? LOW?
No.
I wonder if you would like them.
No.
And here's the reason why I think you should check it out.
No, I know the band Low.
Because I know you, and this is going to help you want to check it out.
Okay,
They never got famous. Ain't no one know about Low. So now they're.
I know about Low. I've listened to Low.
Well, I'm just saying now you can maybe investigate it without the fear that they're like mega successful and that and it's painful in that way. Nothing ever happened. Big artists know of Low and are influenced by Low. I read a mayor in passing mentioned that he was influenced by this band Low. And I'd always heard the name but never checked them out. So I went and I said, what would he have been listening to when he wrote that first Tool album called Undertow, which was in 1993? And I thought he was listening to Low then. I just thought that it just made me want to go check it out. And I listened to their album from that time that he would have been listening to, and it's called Long Division. And God
There you go.
damn it, it's good.
All right, I'll check it out.
It's just three things. It's bass, drums, and singing. And it's as sparse as it gets, dude. It's slow and heavy and beautiful. Beautiful singing.
All right. Maybe I don't know who. Maybe I was thinking of a different band.
Well, I'm doing this new thing where when I get into a new band, I don't look up anything about them because I don't want to know anything about them as people because it's going to disappoint me. I don't care what they think about politics. I don't care what they think about the fucking Oscars. And so I just didn't look them up. And for like 6 months, I obsessively listened to Low. And then suddenly something started to bubble up like online because, my phone knows I'm listening to Lee, whose voice had been in my ear for 6 months straight. I would cry listening to it. The thing that finally bubbled up, the first thing I ever learned about them, dying of cancer, and then she died. Never get to see them live. They've been making music since fucking 1991, dude. And I did not get into them until like 2024. And then she's off the planet. Bye-bye. The end. Isn't that sad?
Yeah. That's like when I found out about Mitch Hedberg about 6 months after he left the planet.
Oh, I didn't know that. You were late to Mitch Hedberg.
I mean, I just found out about him and I was like, oh, this guy's like my favorite now. Oh, he just died 6 months ago? That sucks.
Yes. I was lucky enough where I was a little hip to him maybe a year before he died. But yeah, I didn't get hip to Bill Hicks.
I knew about Bill Hicks when he was alive. Nobody knew he was sick, including his close friends.
Yeah.
And yeah, when he died, I was like, oh, that's a bummer. I would have liked to see him at the Comedy Store, which he played a lot.
Oh, I mean, could you imagine being able to see Bill Hicks in his prime?
I mean, his first special was shot at the Capital City Comedy.
Yeah.
Here in Austin.
He's a Texas guy. I think he was a Houston guy. One
Yeah.
time I was playing. He's a Southern boy. He's from Mississippi. He's buried in Mississippi. And when I was touring with Rodney Atkins, we played near where he was buried. And I went to his grave just to check it out. And dude, I thought there would be stuff at his grave. I thought that there would be, I don't know, flowers or lead. I thought that people would go to Bill Hicks's grave. Dude, I went to this little cemetery in the middle of nowhere, Mississippi, and it just says it's just a nondescript, humble tombstone amongst every other one. and it just says, "Here lies Bill Hicks, beloved brother and son." That's it.
Wow. That's crazy.
Isn't that wild?
That is wild. I didn't even know that you could do that until right now. So also you got to go to Mississippi.
Well, I wouldn't go there for that, but I did happen to be there. And it was sad.
I would like to go. It's so weird. Death is so weird. I just played a celebration of life yesterday, and for this guy who died, he was 81. But they wanted to celebrate him, and a bunch of people got together, and him and his wife came to a lot of my shows, and it's weird to think about death. Death is so strange, dude. It's such a weird thing. There's no answer for it. I mean, that's why when somebody says, "Hey, I've got the answer," it's so talkative. It's so like we want the answer. So if somebody says, "Hey, man, I've got the answer,"
I think that's why it's
like
so.
we
Yeah.
want, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we want to believe. Yeah, because
we want the answer.
but that's also why I think it's so offensive to people who have their eyes open about it. Is if you're lying to me about that, it's egregious. You know what I mean? Like it's like people who
Well, that's
use
the
that
thing.
fear to grift and to take advantage of people who are existentially unwell or devastated, or to tell someone who's grieving the death of a child, "Oh, you'll be with them again in heaven." It's like, how the fuck do you know that? What are you talking about?
Well, I remember when I was a dad was televangelist. That's all there was to watch. If you wanted to watch TV on Sunday night, that's what you had. And I would watch these preachers, and the thing I always thought was like, did these people know that they're lying and they're doing it because they know they can make an easy buck, or do they believe what they're saying and feel like they're helping people? And as I've gotten older, I do believe that I think most of them, and not all of them, but I think most of them do believe they have faith, which is obviously a belief in something that can't be proven. I think they do believe in whatever their religion is for the most part. Now, and I think that and they like, obviously they like what they do, and they're making money, and it's a great way to make money and tax free and stuff like that. But I don't think I as I've gotten older, I think it's a small group of people that are actually nefarious and evil and are using it to grift people. And I think most of them actually kind of believe in what they're saying. And I don't know if that's true or not, but that's kind of what and I've talked to a bunch of people who are very religious. One of my son's lacrosse teacher, like a Pentecostal preacher, I think. And I went and saw him like preach at his thing, and I think he believes I do believe he believes what he's preaching. You know what I mean? I don't think he's lying about it. Like he actually believes
Yeah,
it.
but I mean, whether you believe it or not doesn't change the fact that you are claiming to know something that's unknowable, and that can be harmful to people.
Yeah. Well, again, I don't think he's saying. I mean, he really does believe it, and he believes, but yeah,
Well, that's the whole George
I
Costanza thing,
dude,
that whole Seinfeld thing, where he says it's not a lie if you believe it. Because he's like, "Dude, you're lying,"
right?
and he's like, "Well, it's not a lie if you believe it."
Well,
It's like a
I
loophole.
I well,
Also, we got to get out of here.
I think, yeah. We'll talk about it some more. We can talk about it some more in the Secret Weekly.
All right, write in Bob and Clint at gmail.com. Thank you to the new patrons. You can find out about how to sign up for that down below, and you can join us in the Secret Weekly where we go now. Thank you. We'll see you next week. Peace.
Peace.